The sea covers over 2/3 of the planet's surface. Yet we know more about space and the universe than we do about our own oceans. Between the states of Connecticut and New York is the Long Island Sound, a naturally protected channel into New York City used for over hundreds of years. The Sound's rich maritime history has played a significant role in the growth of our country. Join us as we explore its unsung residents and its forgotten history. Hello everybody, I'm Captain Dennis with Squalus Marine Divers, and I'd like to welcome you to our next dive. Today we're doing something pretty easy. We're in the Bridgeport Harbor and we're going to dive the Eastern Breakwater. My friend Greg, seen here, had just recently gotten certified last year, and he wanted to get a quick checkout dive in. Here's me with an entire dive shop on my back. People dive with a heck of a lot more than that, folks. Like I said earlier, this is a pretty easy dive. This is just for Greg to get in the water, see some stuff, and get familiar with his equipment again. Diving doesn't have to be super deep for it to be fun and cool. Now again, I want to remind you that we're in Bridgeport Harbor in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I really had no idea what we would see on this dive. The water is really warm. It's about 73 to 74 degrees. Here we are at the edge of the breakwater, and I'm making my way south. Now this here is a tire, obviously, and I come across tires from time to time, and I always say to myself, should I pull this tire out and try to clean up the sound? But there's so many organisms and creatures that live inside that tire. So sometimes I'm conflicted as if I should just leave the tire or take it out. Now the thing about breakwaters is if you have a breakwater where there's a bunch of rocks that shoot out into the water, you can kind of go right up against them and you'll see all kinds of fish and crabs, just like this guy. So you can actually do this with a snorkel if you stay shallow enough. And here's a hermit crab. What you need to be careful of is the waves throwing you into the rocks. If it's nasty, don't do it. And you don't want to go to the edge of the breakwater where you might get sucked out. But if you stay in, well, here you go, look at this. This here is a blue shell crab, and they're legal if they're 5.5 inches from tip to tip on the top shell. You can eat these guys. For a while you didn't see blue shell crabs in the Sound, and as you'll see in this video, they're really starting to make a comeback. I'll move a little bit more down the breakwater, and I see this other guy just hanging in here. Now these crabs are really fast. Their back feet are actually flippers, so they swim, and they're really, really fast. The spider crabs have got nothing on these guys. And here we have some, what I think are newlyweds, who are getting awfully friendly. Now I'm not a marine biologist by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm pretty sure they're working on making some new crabs. I really couldn't confidently tell you who the Mrs. or the Mr. was, but I want to say that the Mrs. is the bigger one. So we'll leave those two little lovebirds to do their thing, and we'll look at this. Now, people have been fishing in this harbor for a long time. This is a 7-Up bottle, which I think is from the 70s or the late 60s. Well, that was my guess, but when I got home, we put a little contest up on our Facebook page, and our buddy Patrick told us it was from 1968, which is a pretty fair estimate. So he won a t-shirt. Now here's another blue shell crab that's buried itself in the sand. I don't really want to disturb her. Again, I think this is a female. They're really cool animals, they really are. I mean, I think they use those flippers in the back to bury themselves, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Wouldn't be a video without a fluke, and if you look at the top of your screen, he's really small, he's really fast. There's a little tiny baby fluke, and he is bolting out of here like a rocket. See if we can keep up with him. When you find structure underwater, you're always going to find some little creature, or fish or crab, that's going to use that little secret spot to stay safe. Now here's what I think is called the needlefish. He's right, you'll see him in a second. You probably have to watch this a couple times. Just a really pointed nose, looks like an eel almost. There he goes. Now let's see if you can spot this next. Look at that. Can you see him? Two bottles right next to each other. Now this one didn't have anything on it. This was a cool shaped bottle. It's amazing that these things end up down here and they fill with sand and they just get thrown around and thrown around. They don't break. One was just a regular green bottle, but one was a Perrier bottle. Now, can you see this guy? It's a little sea robin right in the center of your screen. There he goes. We're going to see if we can follow him around. There he is again. Different colors than what I'm used to seeing, so it might be a different kind of sea robin. Or maybe their colors are like this to protect them when they're really young. Now, as I'm following this guy, I want you to keep watching. Trying to keep up with him, trying to keep up with him. And then we come across this guy who is a sand crab. Similar fins on the back legs. See him trying to bury himself in? He's trying to stay away from me, and he's trying to get out of Dodge. But what I think happens is he starts digging. He says, oh, there's a rock. And then he tries to run away a little bit more. He starts digging out, there's another rock. So he really needs sand to get all the way down. Almost, nope, another rock. And there he goes. Gone. Well, we've reached the end of our dive, and it's time to get out of the water. So be sure to check us out on squalusmarine.com and look us up, Squalus Marine Divers, on Facebook. And make sure you subscribe, because next week we're doing nothing but shipwrecks. So until next time, I'm Captain Dennis.